Joining me now in studio is retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. General, welcome.
Good to be here.
So this latest thing that was shot down, why do you think U.S. officials have not been more specific about what it was? They're calling it an object?
Yeah, it's interesting because that terminology is not like a drone or a balloon or a satellite, but an object. That means they have no idea what it is. And I think I go back to what I learned in the military years ago, which is the first report is always wrong. So we're going to have to take a day or two to figure out exactly what it is and what happened. But I think when you look at it, we have to make an assumption. And the assumption I'd make right now is, okay, this is from China. And that leads me to the next piece, is one from the balloon from last week, is what is going to be our response? You know, we not take the balloon down, but then what do? We need to do something. They're not answering the phone. You know, Lloyd Austin tried to call him, SecDef tried to call him on the phone the other day, and they didn't pick up the phone at all. Or the second, and it's a bit concerning, are we now into third-generation warfare, and we just don't know it? In other words, are the Chinese or an adversary using balloon technology to transport weapons that we're not really aware of? And we're really behind on that. And we need to figure out exactly what's going on. And we need to, recovering that device will be important. And you have to put it all together. And because I think we've been focused so much on the Middle East and we've focused so much on Ukraine, we have still not focused in on China. And China is the growing adversary.
From your expert eye, how are the two shoot-downs different, the one yesterday versus the one a week ago, Saturday, when we were on the air together? What are the big differences you see?
Well, one was, without question, it was a spy balloon. Because when we looked at the sensor package on board, which was massive, you know, size of a school bus at least, and it had communications and signals intelligence collection on it, comment, SIGINT. This one didn't seem to have any, but that doesn't mean it's not carrying something inside of it. We just don't know. So it'll be very, very important when we get it and be able to retrieve and look at any type of data and at least see who made it. So I think that there's two different ones, and that goes back to this third-generation warfare. Look, are we looking at something different? Because the balloon technology has been worked on by the Chinese for generations, and they're really looking at ways to counter what we do in an asymmetric way. And I think it's very smart what they're doing. Probe the United States, see what their reaction is going to be, both politically and militarily, and then we'll adjust from there. Because everything you do in the military, you always adjust to what's happening. My concern, again, goes back to the fact that maybe we're fighting the last fight, and we're not looking to the future. And I know that's hard to talk about and think about, but years ago I was with a great commander, and somebody who's very, very smart. We used to get on an airplane, he'd read science fiction novels. And I finally asked him, because we were doing the future of the Army at the time, and I go, you know, sir, why are you reading science fiction novels? He goes, because that's the future. And I remember going back at that time, we had to read a book called Heinlein, which was Starship Troopers. Now, that's old technology, but everything that was in that book, which was science fiction at the time, is current today. And I think we have to think like that in the military. I don't think we're doing it, Mike. I just don't.
Speaking of technology, the Chinese are not known for inventing stuff. They're known for stealing stuff. How alarmed are you by our reporting that there was English writing on some of the debris from the first spy craft that was taken down a week ago? Could this be American-made or Western-made?
Well, I think it's not necessarily made, but they've kind of kludged all the parts together. But they have stolen our technology. You can't advance as fast as they did militarily unless they stole it, and they stole it from us. If you look at a lot of their systems. When I was in the business world, our information technology branch would tell us we were getting hit 10 to 20,000 times a day from China with the pings on our IT network, and they just steal stuff. And I've seen stuff from the classified version of what they have, and what they have is absolutely stunning. They have stolen our best secrets. And they haven't stolen it from the military. They've stolen it from, unfortunately, defense contractors. And they've been able to get into that, who makes this stuff, and actually penetrate those systems and retrieve it and extract it. And what they've been able to gain from that is probably 5 to 10 years military advantage. And so they put the new stuff in place based on what our technology was, building to the future.
Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, thank you for your service and your analysis today, sir.
Thank you.
Alicia?